right, Patriots, welcome back to the 4th of July episode of Hops and Bops podcast. I am Lieutenant Tom.
Captain Mike.
Damn it, I was going to say Captain. Colonel Joe.
Colonel Yeah, this is the 4th of July episode. We're still on the boat, you know, still being pretty patriotic. I got a beer flag on the back of the boat. I thought that was pretty symbolic.
We've been on this boat for a week now.
Yeah, we actually set up a tent.
Yep.
It was pretty tough, but we you know, got a bunch of ice.
We
so
roughed
that
it.
Yeah.
It was kind of like the perfect storm, but
It really,
yeah.
Got
I don't wanna brag.
Watch out to see, but yeah. So figured we'd pick out some real red, white, and blue classics for this week. So we got Born in the USA, Bruce Springsteen's 1984 release, and to pair along with that, we have Alvarium Brewing Company's Rocket Pop. Is a popsicle style fruited sour, and it's brewed with cherry, raspberry, and lime.
I did drink this when I bought these. I bought myself a 4-pack.
Yeah, you got two of them?
Yeah, I got two.
Is this a brewery only release, or is this like a?
Yeah, I think I picked it up at the.
Yeah, I saw that.
But no, it's a little pricey, but very good. I liked it. Got a good sour mix.
excited for it.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, crack 'em.
Let's do it.
So it's kind of similar to the orange one we did
Oh,
on the
yeah.
last episode. This one is red.
Yeah, this one's like a
It's like
raspberry-ish.
melted. Oh, it's like
It really
a
is, as if
popsicle
you
melted.
melted
Can't talk right now.
the Rocket Pop.
Oh my god.
Ooh.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah, that's very fruity.
That's fantastic. I still smell some lemon meringue in my cup a week later.
Yeah, this is a very good one.
Holy shit, that's really good.
Ooh.
It's like a melted popsicle with,
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
alcohol.
Yeah. It's
That-
like someone.
That's delicious.
Yeah, someone
Yes.
threw a bunch of like old popsicles into like a big vat and then just fermented it.
It's delicious.
It's pretty good.
Wow.
Yeah, I like it. This is like what I'm looking for when I look for a sour.
Yes.
It's got the sour bite. It's not overly sour where you can't drink it.
Mm-hmm.
Does not have that throw up taste that some of them have in
Right.
the back.
Right.
That iconic throw up
Yes,
taste we
the
talked
Hops
about.
and Bops patented throw up taste.
Yes.
It's smooth.
Holy shit.
It almost tastes a little thicker than kind of your normal sour. And then obviously the flavor combination is something that we've had since we were 3 in the Rocket Pop popsicles. So it's like a nostalgic. I don't know.
'Cause-
Just one of the better combinations.
Yes. Well, because the flavors are what the 3 flavors are in the
Exactly.
popsicle.
I kind
What
of
is
wish
it?
they threw like a blueberry or something in there, or like a blue
I
raspberry,
think it's
because you don't get
There's
that.
one on the
Raspberry.
can. There's a
Oh, yeah.
blue raspberry.
cherry, raspberry, and
Oh, is it?
lime.
Maybe if they just put like a blueberry or something in there, that could have been nice. But it's pretty good. I enjoy it a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does have a little bit of a solid kick to it. I would
Mhm.
say for me, I'm not like head over heels for it yet, but maybe
Yeah.
it'll grow on me a little bit more. It is really good though. I like the concept of it.
Yeah. No, I think it's just a great combination.
It's only 4.8% too, so it's not
Yeah.
gonna knock you off your feet.
No, it's a little lower on the alcohol content.
Yeah.
But I think
Wow.
it's just a very clever and well done combination.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good summer drink.
Oh yeah, definitely. You can
Yeah, I
put this
wish
in,
it was. I wish it was just a little more like readily available.
Yeah. It's very local.
Exclusive.
Mhm.
What was the other Alvarium beer that we did?
We did Starman.
Yes.
Was it a double or a single IPA?
That was a double.
Double.
That was
The
awesome.
David Bowie based one.
Yes.
Yep.
That was an awesome beer. That was so good.
It was
So
good. They make-
Alvarium rocking it out right
yeah,
now.
they do. They make some good beers. The brewery's a cool place. I had only been.
Where is it?
Only every time I've been was to pick these up.
Hard hitting.
New Britain.
Right in New Britain. It's another little
Where is it?
industrial park area. They had like a DJ the night I was there. It was a random weekday too.
Yeah.
Got
Like a
bands.
little DJ guy in there, and it was a smaller place, but
Yeah.
it was nice.
Hmm.
And what better to pair this with
Yeah.
Yeah.
than some?
We were trying to talk about like, all right, we want to do a 4th of July episode. Obviously, this was the beer. You know,
Yeah.
you can't do another beer if you want to choose a Connecticut one. Trying to come up with the album, this was the first one that we all
Yeah.
thought of, right?
Yeah,
What
yeah.
else could you do?
I've heard of the album. I've heard of the main singles off the album.
Yep.
I'd never listened to the album before.
Same.
Um,
The album cover is iconic.
yep.
That's a cultural.
Yeah. Now, is that
I really-
actually Bruce Springsteen's ass?
I believe it is his ass. Yes.
Because I read somewhere that they tried multiple
Butt
ideas.
models. Oh.
No, butt models. They tried multiple shots, like, and he said something like, and just came out that my butt was sexier than my face. So they ended up just
Kind of like
using
a
that.
Captain America, America's ass.
America's ass.
Yeah.
This was America's ass in the 1980s.
This is America's ass.
Yeah.
You know, you got the white shirt, the blue jeans with the red hat,
Yep.
pocketed,
Hanging out.
going along with. So he's got the flag colors.
Yep.
You know,
Got the stripes in front
Yeah.
of him.
Yeah. The red and
Yeah.
the white. Yeah.
you know,
we-
classic blue jean, white collar,
The studded
blue
belt.
collar worker. Yeah.
Yep.
And I know we just did a Bruce album a couple episodes before this for Father's Day.
Did, yes.
Kind of inadvertently happened because they picked that after we had chosen this album. But
That's right.
you know, what other like really classic Americana-esque like album are you gonna pick for 4th of July?
Right.
You know?
I mean, you could have picked something, you know, Bob Dylan or,
maybe.
but if we wanted, you know, do a
Almost made
4th of July episode, this
Almost
has
made
the
me
look.
vomit up a very good
Yeah, I
beer.
know, right? This has the look. You know, this the cover itself alone just has the look of
Yep.
what you would want in a
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Independence Day episode.
Yeah, and if you did hear that Father's Day one, I mentioned a lot that my dad showed me a lot of Bruce growing up. I probably played a fair bit of it here at the lake too. So, like my whole life, I've listened to Bruce Springsteen, and I've known pretty much all of these songs front to back for not all of them, but I've been a pretty big fan of this album. I do consider myself to be a very big Bruce fan and supporter. So, a lot of these songs are very cherished for me. But I mean, I can understand why some people wouldn't like it. A lot of his style of music is very, like his vocals aren't really the best.
No.
But I mean,
Right.
He doesn't try to be the best singer. You know?
He doesn't. He doesn't try to do more than he can do.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of what he performs fits it. Like he doesn't need to be a perfect singer on these tracks. You know,
No,
they're very rough.
He
and
has, and it's funny you mentioned Bob Dylan, but he has kind of that folky
Mhm.
vibe to his music and his vocals and his lyrics
Yeah.
and things like that. So it is kind of in some way along the same path as that.
Yep.
I am not a huge Bruce Springsteen fan. I never have been.
It's fair.
I will say that I gained a lot of respect for him when I saw him live.
Yes.
I just happened to have an opportunity where somebody bought a ticket, couldn't make it. It was offered to me. I actually saw him play just after Clarence had passed away,
Yes.
and I saw him at Fenway Park. And
Yep.
I'd never been to a concert
Oh,
at
I remember
Fenway.
this, yeah.
So I was like, oh, it's a cool opportunity to go see a concert at Fenway. Red Sox are my favorite baseball team. I've been to Fenway many times.
Yeah.
He played for like 4 hours.
Yeah. He has long concerts.
Clarence's nephew played sax.
Yeah.
and
He's
then
now
they did
no
like
longer in the band.
Yeah, they did like a big tribute to Clarence. That was really cool.
Same thing happened. Yeah. We saw him at XL Center.
Okay.
Probably the same tour. Probably
Might
like
have been.
2012ish.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to say it was the Wrecking Ball tour, like that album, but it could be something else. I don't know.
Yeah, I have no idea.
But yeah, he's known for having real long concerts. And we did 10th Avenue Freeze Out. And he says, changes time, and the big man joins the band. He stopped and looked up, and then they played like 10 minutes
of
just
Clarence
Clarence, the
solo.
Oh, wow.
saxophone player.
It was again. It was a very good concert.
Yes, he's
Gained a lot of
insane.
respect for him as a musician, and just as an artist. And the only thing I will say is like, there's other bands that have been the same for me, like Iron Maiden. Like Iron Maiden always was kind of like, eh. And then I saw them live, and I gained a lot of respect for them, and I listened to them a lot more after that. That's one thing I didn't do with Bruce, though. Is like I respect them. I'd go see him live if I had the opportunity, but I still just can't. I don't know. I can't bite and just listen and listen and listen. After a while, it gets a little bit too much for me.
That's fair.
A lot of the same. I'm not a big Bruce guy. I like the hits. You know, I'd say I'm a casual Bruce fan. You know,
Yeah.
I do love the album Born to Run. I wish
Yep.
I was around for that episode.
Yes.
Yeah, we weren't invited to that one.
it was a family only event. And Bob.
But that's a great album. This one,
Well, I mean, this one came out like 12 years after
yeah,
Born to Run did, and it was in the middle of the 80s. His career was, I wouldn't say it was like on a downturn, but like, his career was slowly leaving the mainstream after it picked up on Born to Run.
Well,
And
this is
Darkness.
all mainstream. This is his,
exactly, yeah.
His mainstream.
This
entry.
was his breath of fresh air into
This was
his,
a very gimmicky album.
Yeah.
I will say the big songs on this, like Born in the USA and
Glory Days.
Glory Days, they're not my favorite. They're a little not even like overplayed, but like I've heard them so many times. It's like I've gotten all that I can out of them. You know.
Yeah.
I very much prefer the B-sides on this album. But you know, seeing as people that aren't big Bruce fans, you only hear them casually, and then like, you know, then you hear Born in the USA. It's like a little gimmicky, like Mike said. I understand that, but I don't know. I still enjoy it a little
I don't
bit.
know. Like I knew Born in the USA. I knew Glory Days. I knew Dancing in the Dark. Like all those big. Even I'm on Fire. I feel like I'd heard prior to
Not a clue.
this. And
Really?
I only knew those 3 songs.
yeah, for some reason, don't ask me why, but I listened to I'm on Fire and I was like, oh, I know this song. I don't know why.
Yes,
but
one of his more popular songs.
Yeah.
Has
But,
230 million plays on Spotify.
Yeah, but I just was like, those songs are all like, again, like your classic mainstream Bruce, and they're all on this album. And
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, it begins with that iconic piano and snare drum hit. Like, yeah, I mean, you know it's getting started.
Yeah.
It's just so iconic
Yeah.
how this song begins.
This
Yeah,
album.
and it's weird hearing Bruce's other stuff into this one. Like, this is the most
Yes.
80s Bruce.
Yes, this whole album
But-
has 80s all over it.
Yeah, and I'm not the biggest fan of those kind of tropes, like the
Yes.
big synth style intros and all this
Correct.
kind of stuff.
It's very gimmicky. It didn't age well. It's not timeless. You know.
I'd say it aged somewhat better than a lot of the other things that came out during that time, but
I just think
I
all
understand
of it. As soon as any band that used that kind of piano and the keyboards and those effects,
like
you
Jump,
immediately push yourself into a corner.
Van Halen.
And what's that?
Jump did it though.
Yeah.
It's 80s. It didn't age well. I love the song.
Fair
It's one of my
enough.
favorite
Okay,
songs
okay.
of all
I
time.
understand
But
that, yeah.
you know immediately what era it's from. you
Yeah.
know? But yeah, I don't know. I feel like.
But I mean,
we'll get to my overall thoughts.
yeah.
later.
But I mean, even for the rest of the album, it doesn't have that similar style at all. I would say.
A lot of
like
the
that-
piano has that kind of high-pitched,
Yeah.
synthy sound more so than a piano. Like, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's one of my biggest things about Bruce. Like, you know, everyone's such a great songwriter. This is that for me because I'm not listening to the lyrics. I don't know what the hell he's saying.
You
half the
can't
time,
understand them.
and I can't understand them. And I'm not listening for that anyway. So
Maybe he needs to talk to Orad.
yeah.
Yeah. What if they collabed? Bruce was just on a song by someone weird. Who was he just on a song with? The Killers. He just put out a song with the Killers, and it's awful.
Wow.
It was so.
Oh,
it's
I
called
saw an
Dustland.
ad.
That
Yeah.
sounds
Yeah.
terrible.
Yeah, it was not good. It was very weird.
Yeah.
But anyway.
My thing is, where the fuck is Clarence on this album? Like, he's one of my. I love
Fair
this.
enough.
It's one of like the distinct
Yeah.
like Bruce Springsteen things. Is he's got that saxophone player and he's got those crazy solos and
Mhm.
yeah, he really has had like one solo.
Yeah. And it's like towards the end of one of the songs, middle of the album. I
it
can't remember
was-
which one.
I
We'll
feel
get to
like
it.
they just could have utilized it more. But again, you talk about the '80s and it was more of that synth sound. And
Right. But so where I'm coming from with this album is because I'm not a lyric listener and I can't understand what he's saying, I have no choice but to just listen to the musicianship.
Mhm.
And this is such watered down from what they usually do, the E Street Band and Bruce himself, that I was really underwhelmed and I was left unsatisfied.
Well,
I don't know.
It's funny that we picked this album for the 4th of July and like the very patriotic feeling, because when you do listen to the lyrics, it's very much not as America-centric as people make it out to be.
Yes.
Because like if you listen to the lyrics on Born in the USA, it's very much anti-America.
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
yeah.
You don't
And-
realize that, and
Yeah.
you only think of that chorus, born in the USA, wearing my stars and stripes. But if you listen to the verses, it's
Yeah.
like, sent off to kill the yellow man, and
Yep.
you come back home and you don't get the support and everything like that.
Yeah.
And it's pretty wild. It was an interesting take.
Yeah, and
you know?
there was
real take.
there was political people using it to be their running song or whatever,
Yeah.
like when they go on stage. And Bruce had to turn to them and be like, "Stop doing that! Like, it's not what you think it's being used for."
Right.
And so I thought that was very interesting on the lyrical front because, you know, yeah, everyone pictured this album as just like the classic Americana style album, but it's just
Just why we picked it. You know, like,
Yeah.
But I
it's
mean,
funny that we picked it. But
yeah. But I don't know. I enjoyed it a lot. I think there's a lot of classic tracks on this album.
Another thing I didn't like about this song, Born in the USA, is the piano part. It's the same da, 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 throughout the whole song. Like, it doesn't stop, it doesn't change.
That's very much a style at the time, is that you want to get it stuck in someone's head so that they remember it. Or
I think they got that before the verse even started. I
Yeah.
think you got stuck in your head.
Yeah.
It's so catchy. But I mean, it's a great song nonetheless.
But I really, really love Cover Me, the next song.
This has a very like Joe Cocker bluesy vibe
Yes.
to it.
Very guitar driven.
Yeah.
This one doesn't sound 80s to me at all.
No, sounds more like late 60s, early 70s.
Yeah. Like, this is like classic Bruce for me.
Yeah. Those little guitar riffs and those little like bluesy licks that are mixed in there.
Yep. But again, where's the saxophone? Where's Clarence?
Be a great song for it.
I know,
Was this saxophone like a big 80s thing?
but he's in the band.
I
It's
know.
Clarence
Yeah,
Clemens.
that's the thing.
It's,
That's the thing, exactly.
it's the saxophonist. That's who you think of every
Yeah.
time. You know, if you're a casual music fan.
I think the 80s was more like a guitar solo centric era.
Synth, those
Yeah.
two.
Synthy.
It was
Yeah.
very more electronic leaning. So I think it was just going out of vogue. But I do agree that he is.
But that would be the one thing that would make him stand out from the rest of the 80s. Hey, I've got a little bit of an 80s vibe, but I play sax too. Like
Right.
that's your gimmick. That's your go-to, and he lost
Yeah.
that.
And I do agree that Clarence is almost as big of a part of the band as Bruce is. So I do understand that, but I don't know. I feel like the songwriting doesn't really get hampered too much by him not being there. But I would have appreciated
I don't think
it.
him not being there hurts him.
Yeah.
I think if he was there, it'd benefit him.
Fair enough. Yeah, I could definitely see that. But
Like,
No.
this is a perfect song with that bluesy vibe.
Yes.
To have that saxophone in the background, and it would have,
Yep.
you know, even if the guitar solo and the guitarist and the saxophonist alternated licks, or because there's a lot of guitar licks, the solo was a sax, or something like that. Like,
and we also said this on the last episode we did with Bruce, but this album is very much not an album you can sit to while listening, like with headphones in. Like, this is very much a driving album for me.
Yeah.
Like, and a lot of his stuff is too. Like, you want to just play it loud out of your speakers with the windows down. Excuse me. Driving through like the country or something. It's very much that style of album where it makes me feel a lot more free than a lot of other albums do, which I could see could benefit it in its America-centric theme. Like, oh, you know, you feel this. It's a weird feeling this album gives me. It's like I feel like I just want to go run around in a field or something. I don't know. I don't know. It's a very yeah.
The next song gives me the open highway driving vibes.
What, Arlington County?
Arlington County.
little John Mellencamp vibe.
Yep.
Like,
Exactly. Right.
Well,
all I'm hearing through so much of this.
A
is
lot
like
of the
that.
people that he inspired came out by this point.
Yeah.
Like you're saying, John Mellencamp, Bob Seger, all these kind of people. And I feel like he was almost influenced by the people that he influenced.
Makes
So
sense.
it's almost like a weird cycle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because this song definitely does give me like John Cooper Mellencamp.
Yeah.
Just
vibe.
had a lot of like Angel in the centerfold vibe to me.
Oh yeah, the
What was that, Jay Giles?
Jay Giles.
Yeah.
Just
Sounds like
finally-
Small Town.
Yeah, right. In a small town.
Yeah, it's exactly what I heard the whole time.
Yes, okay. I can see it.
I don't know.
Finally has saxophone though, and it's
There you
like
go.
nicely placed. You know.
But I think they could have done that through so much of the album.
Yeah, I agree.
I didn't think he needed to be like the main guy, but he could. they just missed the boat on that, and I don't know why, because he did it with everything else.
Missed the boat on that one.
Gotcha.
Put her on the boat.
I meant that.
This is another one of those songs that makes me feel real free.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, it's just got that same vibe. That.
No, for sure. Yeah, I agree, Tom. Definitely. It's just not Bruce. I don't know. It's not the boss. You know.
Yeah,
it's kind of sellout at this point. A lot of the songs.
Yeah, the nanas are very corny. But
you can't say like he's such a good songwriter though. I feel like you can't knock that. You can. My hairdresser says this all the time. She always she always says like, you know, I don't like his style of music. I think he's not a really good singer, but I think he's an excellent songwriter.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like
yes. Absolutely.
And I do the same thing with Bob Dylan too. Like I don't like his style of singing when he gets like the style of singing.
Sounds
Kermit
like
the Frog.
He also has a big. It was the timing for him.
Yeah.
He was in a time where that folk and that
protest,
protest songs, and exactly.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
I like this song when like the last verse, I think it's with him and Steve Van Zandt are matched on the verse.
Yes.
When he's harmonizing with him. They have a lot of really cool energy on this album.
He was in The Sopranos.
Yes.
Yes.
I like him. He's
and then the drummer,
Max Weinberg.
His son is the drummer for Slipknot, Jay Weinberg.
Oh,
Really?
that's right. Yes.
Which I thought was.
He was the drummer for the Conan O'Brien,
Yes,
the
he
Tonight
was.
Show
The
for a
Max
while
Weinberg
too.
7.
Yep.
Yeah. So I just find that to be kind of interesting to go from, the father's the drummer for Bruce Springsteen, which is, he's a good drummer. And he plays pretty straightforward. He doesn't do anything too crazy. And then his son is, part of a, symphony-esque, metal, band that's playing and came in taking over for Joey Jordison, which is very difficult to do. And in my opinion, did better.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just unreal. He's so good. Yeah, and I saw the name and it took me a second. I had to look it up after I saw his name, and I was like, wait a minute. And it was,
Hold on.
I thought it was pretty cool. Jay Weinberg.
Cool. Jay Weinberg.
Next track, Working on the Highway.
Hate this song. Thought this couldn't have been any more corny and just is a fucking throwaway.
Yeah, I don't like the keys in it. It's corny. It's kind of like 50s rock.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And it's literally talking about paving a road. It just, I don't know. It's the lyrics I thought were terrible.
Tom's wishing his dad was here talking about the album.
This song, in my opinion, this was the worst song on the album for me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I really did not like this. I just thought it was way too corny.
Yeah.
That's fair. I mean, he does kind of put off those kind of very, oh, my work day's done, I gotta
That's
go.
what I'm saying. It's just a very cheesy song.
But I mean, he does that in a lot of his songs too, which I can see if you don't like his style, then that wouldn't make a lot of sense. But
Get on the Harvard,
It's
get
not
on the butt. I don't know. It just I don't know. It was just it should have been a joke. I don't know.
This was my least favorite song too.
I just couldn't get into this one.
yeah, it's
Bill?
William.
It's working today. Not on the highway.
And then that synth copies the
more synth.
It just was all together.
Yeah, him and synth don't really go that well together.
Right.
Yeah, it's not my favorite by a long shot.
No, right.
But
it's just like he tried hard to do what people were copying. Like
you said.
yeah,
all these other people, they took it to the
yeah.
extreme. It's kind of like Bush for me in the 90s or early 2000s, the band Bush.
I thought you were going George W.
Oh no.
Glycerine.
They are fucking garbage. I can't stand them because they're derivative. They're derivative of the genre. And I feel like a lot of guys that came after Bruce became derivative and that just became the genre. And he's like one-upping them with this album. He's saying oh, I could do that too, but you don't need to do that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But I mean, it became so popular that, maybe if he did it, people like it. I don't know.
He became popular without it, though.
Fair enough. Yeah, and I mean, it is a little corny. It's definitely not my favorite. It's probably close to my least favorite. I honestly don't really know what my least favorite will be on this, but Yeah, not my favorite.
Yeah.
Kind of weird. But Downbound Train kind of grounds it a little bit.
Mm-hmm. I kind of like this song.
Yeah.
This is cool. This is kind of a low, like...
Yeah, if Working on the Highway is a little goofy for you,
Yes.
this one is more serious.
Yeah. And his vocals work for it. It's like...
Yeah, he's not pushing too hard.
I just felt that a lot in this album. Like you said, he influenced people who were almost now influencing him to like sound
Correct.
this
Yeah,
way.
right.
So with this cycle, but I just felt like a lot of this album was like repurposed in some way. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't.
This is kind of Bruce's Black Album for me, like Metallica.
Ooh, okay.
It, like you said, like it became his most popular album, like best-selling album. Well, it's easy to do that when you strip down who you really are and become like a commercial kind of mainstream artist, which is what the Black Album was for Metallica. And that, I mean, it has its great songs and its great parts, but you listen to early Metallica, it's completely different than what that is. And of course, you can reach more people when you go to more like tangible songs and everything. I don't know.
Then this like that airy part comes in.
Yeah.
And it sounds like a Fleetwood Mac song.
I kind of like that part.
But I'm saying it gives off like a very Fleetwood Mac vibe. Like I was waiting for Stevie Nicks to come in and sing whatever that
I
song
could totally
is,
hear it.
Whatever that song is from the that season of The Coven, the season of American Horror Story they kept playing.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, what the hell's the song?
Is it the one from the TikTok video?
Yeah, from the TikTok videos.
Dreams?
Yeah, I think it's Dreams or whatever. But I could hear her singing that like in that part.
I could definitely hear her on this song.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. I just keep getting, again, like, Fleetwood Mac. And then you're pulling in, like, 60s, 70s Joe Cocker. And then you're pulling in... I don't know. I just kept feeling way too much of other people. When Bruce is so standalone in the way he sounds and what he does. And I agree with you. I think he lost a lot of that on this album.
Well, I mean, he also had a lot of influences from his entire, before this, He was very much, like you said, Dylan, but he also had a little bit of, like 50s style blues influence going into it.
Which I heard on, what was that one, Working on the Highway?
Yeah. Oh, what's his name? Roy Orbison. He pulls a lot from him, too. And, so I get if you don't like those influences, or if you don't, or if you think he takes them and filters them down in a way that are a little too derivative, I can understand that. But I think he does make a case for himself where he does make it his own, and especially on this one too, the synths don't really come into it too much. They are there still.
It's kind of subtle in the
yes,
background.
they're very ethereal.
It's complementary then.
Yeah, they're in the forefront. Yeah. Were you also gonna say forefront? Oh my god, babe. I don't know. I thought this one was a calming, good change of pace, and if you're not a big fan of Working on the Highway, it kind of grounded it a little bit.
Yeah.
And then this next one I love I'm on Fire. I thought it was a great track.
It's a little more poppy.
Really? You think so?
Yeah, I don't know. That
kind of Johnny Cash feel to me.
Yeah, a little bit.
It wasn't as grand as some of the other popular songs.
I think vocally he's a
Playing
little
the
bit
rims.
better. In the sense of like he's not screaming. He's kind of right in his wheelhouse with some of his lower tones, and
I thought this was a great track. He keeps it real low. He doesn't keep it too up. And I love the lyrics on this. Hey, little girl, is your daddy home? And well, that sounds a little creepy in out of context.
Well,
Let me actually pull them up so I know what I'm talking
then
about.
he turns around and he says, "I've got a strange desire. I'm on fire." I was like, "What'd she give him?"
Crabs.
I got a very STD vibe from the lyrics.
I've been itching.
Oh shit.
It wasn't a bad song.
I like, sometimes it's like someone took a knife, baby, edgy and dull, cut a 6-inch valley through the middle of my skull. At night I wake up with the sheets soaking wet and a freight train running through the middle of my head. Only you can cool my desire. Oh, I'm on fire. Ring of fire.
This song has syphilis written all over it. It's an okay song. Middle of the road. I got, which is what it is.
Yeah.
Johnny Cash actually covered it in the year 2000. So there you go.
Look at that.
Okay. Is that the same album he did Hurt in like that
Probably,
covers
yeah.
one?
Oh yeah.
I could see him singing it.
John Mayer did
I
it.
probably like it
2009.
better.
John Mayer.
2009. That's interesting.
I want to. He's coming out with a new album.
Is he?
Or he had an EP. He has a new song out, Last Train Home. It's really good.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
kind of
I
like an
think I did.
80s kind of vibe to it, but it's still John Mayer. It's really good. I like
Yeah,
it a lot.
okay. I'll have to give it a chance.
Yeah,
sometime.
anyway, I wonder if it's an EP, but I don't know if it's going to be part of a larger album
Yeah.
soon.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. At the very end of this track, too, I like the little.
Yeah.
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 He actually stays on pitch, too, and his falsetto is actually pretty
I was
impressive.
gonna say it was pretty good. You
Yeah.
never hear him use it.
Yeah. You heard it on the end of Jungle Land on Born to Run,
Okay.
which I thought was really, really good, too.
Yes.
Because that's like that's like right at the end of the album. It's super powerful.
Mhm.
It's very much a climactic end of like a 10-minute song. And he uses it pretty well, too, here, just like the accent at the very end of this track, too.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I thought No Surrender was a good song.
I love
Yeah.
this song. Great song. This is
Yeah.
this is what I wanted
This
out
is
of this
Bruce.
album. This is Bruce. This is it. You know, and I read somewhere that he almost left this off the album,
Oh, okay.
and Steven Van Zandt talked him out of it.
Yeah.
Bruce felt that lyrically this didn't fit in with the theme of the album.
Yeah.
About friendship and stuff, but Steven Van Zandt said, no, it's part of the larger picture. Like you need that. I love this song.
No, I thought it was a
I
great
couldn't
song.
believe it. And we haven't even addressed this. There's 7 singles off this album,
Yes.
out of 12 tracks.
Yep.
Over half the album, and like this one and the next one, Bobby Jean, I felt
Yeah.
could have been singles, and they
Is that
weren't.
Billy's brother?
I think so. He's the forgotten brother. But I can't
That also
believe.
has a bunch of singles, too.
Yeah, right. I can't believe this wasn't a single. This is a great song.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed this song. This is a true dark horse for me because it's not a single.
Yep.
It's
Yeah.
it's late in the album.
Yep. Agreed.
And
It's a good
I
song.
love it. Yeah.
Synth wasn't superly overpowering.
No, it
was right where it needed to be.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, it was good.
Was there sax in this one? I'm trying to remember.
Hmm.
I don't think so, but
I
on the
love
next
the
one-
first verse.
next Bobby Jean has the sax. Yeah, I remember there. Yeah.
Busted out of class, had to get away from those fools. We learned more from a 3-minute record baby than we ever learned in school. I love that
Yeah.
lyricism.
Yeah, that's good.
And I made fun of my dad when we did the first one because all he did was just read the lyrics out in like a
Yes.
powerful way.
Yes.
I thought that was really funny. But now here I am doing it myself. So
He was really
Father
good,
like son.
Bill. We got to have him on again. He was good.
yeah,
Yeah.
he loved being on it. So
Yeah.
I would definitely love to talk more about some music with him. But
Mhm.
like a soldier in the winter's night with a vow to defend. Like
Yeah.
those kind of lyrics, they're very. He's like insane, like god tier level lyric writer for me.
Yeah.
It's very good.
Yep.
And it shines on this song too.
But again, musically, it complements the songwriting for this one. Like
Yep.
this is a great song to listen to. This is
Yep.
it's uplifting. It's
This is
a
the
rocker.
feeling I feel for the rest of the album. This like kind of freeing, like
Yes.
you want to go just run. You want to leave wherever you are and
Yeah.
go somewhere else.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
For sure.
that's what I feel on this. But,
Mhm.
yeah.
Good. And then the next one, Bobby Jean, Billie Jean's
Yep.
younger brother.
Yeah.
I love this one too.
Yes, this one does have a sax solo on it.
Yeah, I was surprised this wasn't a single either.
Yeah, this is a good song.
Excuse me.
This is Bruce Springsteen and East Band right here.
Mhm.
Yep. This one can work on any era of Bruce.
Yes, this is timeless right here. This kind of sound is timeless.
There's a little bit of synth in there,
Yeah.
but they use it complementary.
Well,
Yes.
same with the last song. They did
Right.
it in the right way.
Yeah. And he's still pushing a little bit with his vocals, but it's not strained too much.
No, it's like classic Bruce kind of push.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, not so Born in the USA where he's screaming,
Right.
but just this is what he sounds like.
hmm And there's not a conventional chorus on this either,
Right.
which I think is pretty interesting. He just says goodbye, Bobby Jean, and that just plays the music.
No, I love the sax in that song.
Oh yeah, great.
Yeah.
That like made the song.
Yep.
Yep.
I'm Going Down is next.
I
This
like
one,
this.
I actually don't like this one.
You don't like it?
No.
I didn't mind that. That was fun.
I thought it was just kind of boring.
Yeah.
You know? The chorus is I'm going down, 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 down. It's
That
like,
was the major flaw for me. If the chorus had more to it lyrically,
yeah.
I would have liked it way more.
Mm.
But I think musically it's a fun song. You know, it does its job. It's a good summer song, party song.
Yeah.
But because the chorus just says I'm going down, 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 like it's just
Yeah, and
too
for him
repetitive.
being known as such a lyricist,
Yes.
and then he just kind of repeats the whole thing
right.
like
Yeah.
20 times.
Yep.
It was okay. That's really all I got.
Yeah.
Nothing great about it. Nothing bad about it. It's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not the fact that I don't like it, because I enjoy the music on this. But I mean, I don't know, it's pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
That's what I should have said. Straightforward, not really.
I'm looking at the track list. I like the back half of the album way more than the first half.
I can see that.
Like from No Surrender.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not a huge
Glory-
Dancing in the Dark fan
No.
in my hometown either. But
Glory Days
I know.
is next, right?
Yeah.
Glory Days, yeah.
Another one
I'm
of
really
his
big
bigger.
fan of this song. Kind of annoying.
Yeah.
Well, it's along the same veins of Born in the USA, where it's got that same repeating
Yeah.
synth section.
Right.
Where if you're not a big fan of that, I can
Right.
see that. But I like the idea of them all kind of meeting up at the bar, and he kind of describes everyone from their high school.
Yeah.
Like the first guy was the baseball player that, got all the girls, and now he's just kind of not as big of a guy anymore. And then another one of his is like a girl who got pregnant too young, and then she put her kids down, and then sometimes meets at the bar, and they all talk about the glory days. I think it's a cool
Puts her
concept for
kids
a
down
song.
like
yeah,
euthanasia?
kills her kids every day. Puts them down to bed. But
Oh, the Glory Days.
this song you can see. I
When
don't
you
know.
Glory
could
Days.
just put your kids.
This is definitely like a minor league baseball song for me.
Yeah.
There's someone waving like their Bud Light with the logo out of a minor league baseball game.
Yeah.
With like a
Again,
like a
it's
tan.
commercialized.
Again,
Yeah.
you go back to like the Jay Giles and the Angel and Centerfold, and like it's got that same feel.
Right. It's still good though. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's iconic.
Yeah, it still has its qualities to it.
Yeah.
But it's along the same veins of Born in the USA, where I've heard it so many times that
Right.
it's not lost its value, but I've taken as much as I can out of it to the point where if I hear it again, it's just kind of like
Just there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep, agreed.
Yep.
But it's still fine. It's not my favorite by a long shot, but it's still okay.
Then next up, Dancing in the Dark.
This, to me, is how Bruce can do an 80s synth ballad song well. I enjoy Dancing in the Dark. It's very much him being a defeated, like adult, like going through his emotions, and him meeting up with a girl, like, we're all tired always, but like, hold on, let me actually pull up the lyrics so I know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
Courtney
again.
Cox in the video.
Is
They're
she?
doing that. They're doing that.
Oh, which
quintessential
I
80s
just
dance.
read very interestingly the
Yes.
other day about Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Okay? In the script, when Carlton dances,
Yes.
it literally just said Carlton dances.
Uh-huh.
And he mimicked his dance off of Courtney Cox in this music video.
Yes.
Really?
And that's where the Carlton came from.
Oh,
Wow. Well, there you go.
so she was the original Carlton.
The OG.
Theoretically, yeah.
Yeah.
It
Wow.
was that, and then was it Eddie Murphy in one of his music videos did something very similar? When
It
he
was a
had
very
his,
popular dance
like
in the
move,
80s.
yeah. So it was like an Eddie Murphy, Courtney Cox in this video, and the combination of the two, when it said Carlton dances, it's just what Alfonso Ribeiro did.
Yeah.
That was just what popped in his head, and he did it,
Interesting.
and that's where he got the Carlton, which now, in my opinion, is probably more popular than
Yeah.
the originals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like his themes of like I'm getting sick of what I'm doing, like I'm doing the same thing all the time, I ain't getting nowhere, I'm living in a dump, and then like the chorus is you can't start a fire without a spark, this gun's for hire even if we're just dancing in the dark. You just sit around getting older, like all this style of being discontent with what you're doing and want to change is pretty much in every track that he does, well, most of them, but the way that he interpolates it into different styles, I think, is really, really interesting.
Yeah. I just don't know why he puts that lyricism in a song like this. Like, musically. I don't know.
It's a very boring song musically.
It's just derivative to me. I don't know. Like, it takes away from the lyrics for me. You know, because I listen to the music. Like, I don't like the music in it.
Well, you're not a lyrics guy.
But right, so then I end up skipping the song, and I'm not really listening to what he's saying because it's not attracting me to the lyrics. You know.
Okay.
I don't know. It's such a meaningful song that you would think the music would complement that, but I don't know. What the hell do I know?
Yeah, no, I'm a little.
Just where I'm
with
at.
This one.
Yeah.
Fair. And then it all ends with My Hometown. I love this track. This track is awesome.
Yeah.
You don't like it? It's
No, I don't like it.
Yeah,
It's meaningful. You got the fucking E Street Band with you. What are you doing on this album? Like, what is he doing? Lyrically, you got it. I get it. Great, fantastic. Like, meaningful, political, all that is there.
thematic.
But you thematic. But you got the E Street Band with you, and you got Max Weinberg, who can play all this jazz stuff and all over the place, and on Dancing in the Dark. I don't know. It was just very underwhelming for me musically. It was, and then to have the album end like this on My Hometown, again meaningful, like lyrically, but it's just kind of a snoozer for me.
Yeah, I don't know. I felt like he just he did exactly what they were talking about in Glory Days. He sat in a bar with a bunch of guys from high school and wrote this album, and it just kind of I don't know.
There's a
Tom's gonna quit
podcast.
the podcast.
There's another podcast
He's
that
gonna quit the podcast. and start his own.
That's it. I'm done.
The boss podcast.
The boss.
The boss cast.
You know, I'm actually not a big fan of a lot of Bruce's albums.
Yeah.
His newer stuff is pretty interesting, but
Mhm.
I don't like it that much. Where he puts out Western style
Yeah.
songs now. My
I
dad
feel like
likes
that's
it.
what you do when you get old. Bon Jovi, they're essentially a country band now.
Stained. Aaron
Stained,
Lewis.
yeah. When you get old, you just go to country. I feel like.
No, I thought that was interesting. But
Yeah.
there's a podcast on Spotify where it's Bruce and Obama. They have a podcast
Ooh.
together.
Interesting.
I forget what it's called, but I'm sure if you look up Bruce and Obama, it'll show up.
Boss
And they-
Mama.
Boss
I was
Bomb.
trying to think. Did you see my head working? Yeah, I was trying to think of something.
Barack
Sounds-
Springsteen.
Brockstein.
Probably
The boss
Barackstein.
and the Barack.
The boss and the boss. Anyway, they talk about this song being about his hometown growing up in Jersey. I forget what the name of the town was, but he's growing up there in about '65, where political tensions and racial tensions were running really high, and then there was an interaction between a car full of white kids and a car full of black kids at a stoplight, and they started talking to each other and they started yelling, and then I guess one of the guys in the white car had a shotgun with him, and he ended up shooting a bunch of them in the car.
Jesus.
And trouble times had come to my hometown. So the song is all about his hometown, obviously.
Right.
And he talks about it growing up through his entire life. Like in the beginning of the song, it starts about him 8 years old, running, his dad sitting him on his lap, driving him through the town while he's steering the wheel. Then it goes through his teenage years where that happens, and so now there's so much, tension and drama. And then now when he's older, main streets, whitewashed windows and vacant stores, nothing's happening anymore. It's really sad. And now that he's 35, they have a boy of his own now. Now he's the dad sitting his son on the lap with the steering wheel. And so I really love the progression of the song and how it goes through so many different changes lyrically. And I just think it's so impressive how he can do that in the context of this kind of song and still keep it relatively emotional, So that's where I'm coming from. And that's always
Makes
fine
total
if you don't
sense.
get it. It's the end of the album. It's very much sad and down song. So I understand if people aren't really as into it, but I think it's just a very nice way to coast out the rest of the album. You've had all these up songs all the time, and then this is kind of like the ballad of the album, although he's not really a ballad guy. And I think it's the perfect way to end the album. It's a very emotional, heart-wrenching song that ties in a lot of what he's been experiencing his entire life. And the way that he puts it into song, I think, is just incredible. But that's all it is.
Key tracks.
Let's do it.
Tom, start us off.
Ooh, I don't know.
I know. This is a tough.
This is a tough one. Because, like,
Yeah.
you got the big singles off this, which are what? Born in the USA, I'm on Fire, and Glory Days, I guess?
Dancing in the Dark.
Dancing in the Dark.
Dancing in the Dark, sure. I don't know. Honestly, I might have to go My Hometown. I really, really loved it.
Okay.
Just the way that he wrote that track to describe all of the different things that are happening to this smaller New Jersey town, I thought was very, very interesting. And the way that he worded it. And granted, it's not the one that you're going to, blast in the car as you're driving. But, I mean, you've had so many of those tracks beforehand to do that, too. That this song is just the one that just ends it out on a nice note for me. And I thought it was very emotional for me. Brings a tear to my eye.
Oh.
Tear without tongue. Not really, but... yeah, I like that one. It's my favorite.
A symbolic tear.
Yeah, the symbolic tear.
Okay. I go this way. Which way?
It doesn't matter. No matter where we go.
Clockwise. Actually, I'm not gonna. No, I'll go. This was tough for me. This was very tough, but I don't know. I guess I'm selling out. I'm going with Born in the USA.
Okay.
I just think it kicks off. I like the irony in how pump up the music is, but how real the lyrics are, and how like anti-America the lyrics are. Yeah. But everyone always myself included. Like before this recording, like I took that song as, all right, USA. I didn't really listen to the verses, but when I really listened, I was like, wow, he's really not. He's almost saying like, oh yeah, well, I'm born in the USA. This is what we're all about, right now.
For better or for worse.
This is it.
Yeah.
This is our life. I kind of like that clashing. Like it sounds like a quintessential like Americana, rock song, but it's really about the problems.
Yeah.
And you can't argue that the synth and the drums at the beginning just kicking it off.
Yeah.
So
iconic.
Yeah, it's iconic. So I went with that. I like Glory Days. I think Glory Days is a better arranged song, but I went with Born in the USA.
Okay.
That's my favorite. Michael?
See, I wasn't really. I'm looking at the list of singles, and I wasn't really a fan of any of them. Like those weren't the songs to me. So, I mean, more or less, my number one versus my dark horse are kind of going to be both more towards the dark horse end of things. If that makes sense.
Yeah. That's fine.
I think my number one, like the song I enjoyed most off the album, was probably No Surrender.
Yeah.
I just thought it was a classic Bruce song. It was a very good song. It wasn't a single, but in my opinion, it was probably the most enjoyable listen, on the album.
I almost went with that as my favorite, but I just think that's a perfect pick for a dark horse song.
Yeah.
There's no way I couldn't not call it that. So, yeah. How about your
dark horse? Yeah.
your least favorite?
Oh no, we're doing least favorite. Yeah. Right. Sorry.
Yeah.
Least favorite, I think we can all guess, was Working on the Highway. I just thought lyrically it was corny. I thought musically it was corny. Even when I did the second listen through, I just skipped it.
Yeah.
Like, as soon as it came on, I just skipped it because I was just like, I can't listen to this again. It was just not a good song.
Yeah.
I could see that. I actually went with I'm Going Down. I thought it was a little too 50s-esque, and sometimes that is okay. But in terms of this album, it just didn't do a lot for me. And like I said before, his lyricism didn't really shine as much as the rest of the entire album did for me. And the music's fine on it. I don't really have an issue with it. But it just didn't shine as much as I wanted it to.
I also went with Working on the Highway. Yeah, it just didn't connect with me.
Okay.
I thought it was kind of a filler track for me.
Sure.
But for the Sleepy Heart Dark Horse, I went with. I have two. One is No Surrender. Thought it was a fantastic song, a nice hidden gem on the album. And then the one right after that, Bobby Jean. I really enjoyed Bobby Jean too. Had a nice sax solo in it. Something I was, yearning for the whole album. And there it was. So I really encourage all people to listen to those two songs. They're not singles, but they're great songs, in my opinion.
Bobby Jean would be mine.
Yeah.
I love the sax in it. I thought that was like the perfect sax solo, perfect amount of sax for the song. I wish I heard a little more of that throughout the album, but that was definitely my sleepy dark horse.
Yep.
Fair enough.
Yep.
If you couldn't tell by now, I kind of like this album, so I'm just gonna name a couple tracks that I really like because I couldn't really pick one. I really like "Cover Me." I think that's not a single either.
It is.
It
It
is.
is?
Second
Okay, never
single.
mind. Okay,
Yeah.
so I really like that one. Darlington County is very much like a highway driving song where you
Yep.
you know put the windshield or the
Roof.
sunroof, yeah,
Sunroof,
the
yeah.
sunroof down, put that down. Downbound Train was a little slower, but a little, so it was very gritty. I really like that one. I'm on Fire. I couldn't really call it a dark horse. It's more of a single, but it's a really great song. Obviously,
Well,
No
over the
Surrender.
half of the album's a single. So.
Pretty much, yeah. But it's like one of the most popular singles.
Right,
so,
right, right.
Yeah. I really love No Surrender and Bobby Jean. I thought those were great. And Dance in the Dark. I love Dance in the Dark too. I like this album. a
Tom
lot,
loves the album.
If you couldn't tell.
I'm excited to hear your rating.
Sure, yeah. Do you want me to rate it now?
Rate it. Go ahead. Out of 10.
9.
Newly.
I give it a 9.
9.
I
Wow.
think this is as good as Born to Run is. I've been kind of growing up with this album, and you kind of hear what your parents listen to when you're growing up a lot, and so I feel like this album stuck with me more. And I feel like a great album can really make you feel a lot of emotions that are almost outside of the music itself. So when I listen to this, I just feel free. Like I feel like I want to drive somewhere, and it makes me like yearn to be better than I try to be, which is I know is very dumb, but
No.
it makes me feel better when you put it on, and in the end of the day, that's a really good feeling. And I like that. It's not just
Wow.
filler that you put on in the background. Like
Yeah.
it's music that means something.
Awesome.
I really like that, so I gave it a 9 out of 10.
I love that.
It's a
I
good
love
album.
that, Tom. That's great. I'm
And that's
almost
okay.
shedding
I
tears.
understand if you guys don't like it. It's totally fair.
No,
We're at
but,
a different.
I mean, we've
perspectives.
come across that situation a whole bunch
Yeah.
on this podcast. We bring music and we talk about it, and
Mm-hmm.
you know, we learn a lot from each other through music
Yeah.
and our picks and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can totally understand that.
Mhm.
Mike, what's your rating?
You don't want it yet?
I felt I talked a lot there, so I,
No, that's all right.
I had to pass the ball.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna lean like I did with the last one. I think I'm gonna have to go like a 6. I'm not a huge Springsteen fan. Like I said, I gained a lot of respect for him as a live musician. I won't go back and listen to this album again, like on my own. If it's on, okay. If it's got to be listened to for a reason, okay. But by myself, just because, I won't listen to. And this is now officially the only Bruce Springsteen album I've ever listened to, and may stay that way unless we do another one.
You should listen to Born to Run.
Yeah.
It's a great album. Fantastic.
I just can't get into them like that. I mean, I think they just missed the mark musically on this album quite a bit, where they could have definitely had a more Bruce sound with a lot of the songs. But I get it. It was the 80s, and everybody kind of, I mean, you got Billy Joel, who had a whole different sound in the 80s. You got
Yeah.
Bruce Springsteen. Like, the 80s hit, and everybody was like, we got to play 80s. And no, it's not helping any of you.
Right.
Yeah, so, I mean, wasn't a terrible album, just wasn't my favorite album.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm pretty much lockstep with you, Mike. And to prove it, I do have a 3 out of 5 on my notes. I'm not just following Mike because I let him go first. That's not it. No, so 6 out of 10. I also agree. I feel like musically they missed the mark. They left a lot on the table with the E Street Band as your band. You know, I know it's more lyric centric, this album, but musically I was just looking for so much more. But you can't argue his, like you said, godlike writing ability and everything.
Yeah.
He's a great artist. He's a great artist, and he just sells it, whatever he does.
Yep.
But yeah, for me, that's just kind of where I'm at. I wanted more saxophone. I wanted more from the band. I wanted less gimmicky music styling. And I just think Born to Run is far greater of an album. Not to just compare the two, but
I like them both equally, I'd
yeah,
say.
yeah. So I just felt like he tried to do like, oh yeah, I did this kind of song and that kind of song and that kind of song on this album, you know, to kind of check off the boxes musically. for me.
Okay.
You know, and it's a shame because he does have a lot of meaningful lyrics on the album, and I just feel like they didn't mesh well with the musical companion behind them. But so I'll go 6 out of 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are you feeling on this Rocket Pop?
Rocket Pop. I enjoyed it. I'm giving it. Oh man.
Ooh.
Giving it a 9.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm giving it a 9. It is damn good. I think this might be my favorite sour.
Really?
Although I did like that Abomination one. I can't remember what I gave that. We'll have
Give
to
it
go
a
back
5
in the
out
art.
of 5?
I don't think I gave it a 5. Oh, no, I gave the 𝙍𝙤𝙧 a 5. Abomination I either gave...
Oh, Mike gave the 5.
You gave it a 5. I either gave that a 4 or 4.5. So like this, this is fantastic. Great flavor. You know, you would expect this to be really sweet, but it's not. It's easy to drink. You don't have that trademarked throw up taste after it. You can taste the flavors. It tastes just like a melted popsicle, the melted bomb pop. I love it. It's great. I'm glad we got our hands on this one.
I guess it's my turn to copy Joe. I'm giving it a 9.
Yeah.
It's got the right amount of sour. It's got the right flavoring. You know, right alcohol content. There's not one thing I can say that I dislike about this beer, really.
Yeah.
You know, it's just I'm not gonna give it a 10 just because it's a 10. You know, I'm gonna give it a 9.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty much one of the. You know, this is right up there with the Abomination for me.
Abomination, you gave a 5 out of
did.
5.
I did.
Does that
I
convert
did.
to a 10 out of 10?
It does.
Yeah, I mean,
Mathematically, it does.
Yeah.
Mathematically, it does. I
Heck, you
still
could
like
turn
that
it
one a
anything.
little bit better.
Yeah.
I think it's just an interesting flavor, and I really do.
Too.
Yeah.
But this is right up there.
I like it a lot. I don't think I would give it a 9. I think I'm probably sitting around a 7 or so.
Okay.
It's a little too tart for me, if that makes sense.
Okay.
It does hit me a little acidic-ish in the taste, but in terms of the concept, in terms of that X factor that we always talk about, it definitely has that. I really like all the different flavor choices that they bring in. They complement each other pretty well. I don't know if I could see myself down in a whole 4-pack of them, but it really does have a lot of interesting flavors, and Alvarium definitely has been giving me a lot of different beers that I've been enjoying so far. So I'd love to do some more of them.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah.
Let's give them a shout out.
Shout 'em out
real quick.
All right, we have
Spruce Springsteen.
yeah. So on Instagram it's just Springsteen.
Really?
Yep.
He secured that one.
Yep, it's just Springsteen, no Bruce.
But yep. And then alvariumbeer.com
Yep.
is their website.
And I
Go
believe
check them out. Oh wow, that's a cool picture of their tap room. I've never seen that.
Alvarium Beer on Instagram.
Okay.
Yeah, really great beers. I want to keep going. I want to. I've been there once, but I want to try more of the beers now that we have a couple under our belts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Cool. Next
Episode
up,
42.
42.
Yes. It's
42.
a sequel episode.
Our first sequel episode.
Yes.
We talked about this a while ago, and we have everything lined up. We are going to be talking about. Well, Mike, you talk about the album because it was.
So we're doing kind of a repeat episode.
Yeah.
In a sense.
Yeah.
A few episodes back, we did SDIB, San Diego Island Boys.
Reggae.
Kind of a Hawaiian San Diego jump there that they kind of moved from, and it was a reggae style album. And we had a lot of good things to say about that album, but we also, it was kind of a low key ballady-ish album. SDIB 2 is the only other album they ever put out.
Yep.
And it's a little more up tempo.
Cool.
Same style, same feel though. They're a great 1-2 punch for a band that only ever put out 2 albums. And yes, we're going to revisit that along with.
We're doing the beer that we did that episode, Faraway Beach from Devil's Purse in Cape Cod. I just got word about a half hour ago that the beer has been purchased. My friend Sarah, she was away this week, and I arranged it with her.
Was that mid-episode you got that text?
What's that?
Yeah,
mid-episode. She said the beer is paid for. I Venmo'd her.
Wow.
So
That's
she
awesome.
has it in hand, and the reason why we're doing it again is because they redid the batch, the formula.
Yes.
They if you all remember, they came up with their own lemonade, and the flavor I think is going to be a little more balanced. So we all said we really wanted to try it. The new batch is out. We have it in hand. I'll be getting it for next episode, and we'll be pairing those two again. So kind of a sequel.
Might even be right back here again. We'll see.
Yeah, I
We'll
know.
see.
This is awesome doing it
Right?
out here by the water.
Yeah.
We might have to take this thing for a spin once we're done.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, there you go. Thank you so much for listening. This has been the Hops and Bops podcast. We're streaming on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. Find us on Instagram and Facebook, and just keep listening. We're having a great time, and
A lot of fun.
we're excited to do things. If you ever have any requests, you want to do certain things, hit us up for sure. But for now, for Tom and Mike, I'm Joe. We'll see you next time. Peace.